So with me, like having had it together before we got married, to getting married and learning through the teaching, like what my position is and what my role is, and learning how to best support my husband, um, that was hard. It's still a learning experience. I have to bridle my tongue, like,
Mm,
and I have opinions, and so.
yeah. Hey, mamas, and everybody else who's watching. Welcome to another sit down chat of Talk About It Mama, where once again I have the pleasure of speaking to another mom about her journey into motherhood. I truly feel honored, if if I could use that word. I really feel honored to have this mom right here on Michelle Bryant to have this conversation. I didn't think she was gonna come on. I wasn't sure so
I almost
for
said no.
yeah, because I know that you're reserved and whatnot, and that this is something that is most likely out of your comfort zone. So
Yeah.
I still decided to ask, and once again, I'm really appreciative that you took the time out to chat with me. Um, with that
Thank you
being
for having.
said, before I start shooting my questions at you, I will
Yeah.
first want you to present yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you like to do in terms of hobby wise. I like to ask that questions to moms, like what
Okay.
hobbies do you have, and yeah, give us a little background.
So I am a stay-at-home mom and I have a business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, that's basically, you know, what what I do all day. Um, I honestly I don't know how to answer that
Okay,
question.
you want me to be more specific?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're gonna go back. So I like to ask this question, especially to moms that like have experience in motherhood, if I can put it like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
who was Michelle Bryant before you entered motherhood? Tell us.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I who was I before? I was Bryant.
No,
Why
no
is
worries.
it like when you ask like who am I? I'm like trying to grasp from like who was I before and who am I now? Why is that such a hard question to
Okay.
ask? I think it's because I'm my maybe like where my season that I'm having right now and where I'm at. That is why I immediately jumped to mom
Hmm.
because that's what I don't know, that's my priority. So I'm thinking of myself as a separate individual or a separate unit from my role as mother feels difficult.
Yeah, I hear you. And if you don't mind, how old is your daughter?
She's
You said
15.
15. So you've been a mom for 15 years. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What else can I say?
Yes.
So,
So you're asking me who I am. Like, who are
yeah.
you? Tell me about yourself. And it's like I immediately went into my tasks. Like it immediately came about the kids
Yeah.
instead of becoming about me. So I mean it's a great question because now like I'll need to sit with that when we're done
Yeah.
and
For
like
sure.
think about the answer.
For
Who
sure.
am I like separate from my family?
Aw.
Yeah.
Sorry, that kind of made me a little bit emotional. I'm not lying.
Me
Um,
too. When you turned off the cameras, I was like, oh, I think, or when you stopped recording, excuse me, I
yeah.
was like, I think I'm gonna cry.
Yeah,
But
this is I like your vulnerability and just the truth that came out of that, and I feel like a lot of moms will be able to relate to that,
yeah,
of the I identity of just being mama.
yeah.
But also you are a business owner. We can touch on that down the line, God willing.
Okay.
So 15 years ago, how did you feel when you first found out you were pregnant?
I felt ashamed.
Mm,
I immediately felt ashamed because I knew better. Um, I was in Holiness and I had already been in Holiness. I mean, I've been in Holiness since I was 18, and I was 29 when I got pregnant. So I felt ashamed. That was my honest, like, first feeling.
okay.
Um, and then once I was able to like push past that, then I was excited. Like, because I had always wanted kids, I always wanted to be married, which, came later. But once I was able to get past the shame, then I was very excited about having a child.
So if I'm not mistaken, you said you're in Holiness at since 18,
Yeah.
got pregnant at 29 or 19, did you say?
No, 29.
29. Wow.
Yeah.
So you were not married.
I was not married.
Okay. And the shame part makes sense.
Yeah.
Where did it, so did the shame just come from you within, or did you feel like people were looking at you? Tell us.
No, it was from within. There
Okay.
was no one that was like, you know, what did you do? Like
Mm,
there was no one to get on me about it. Um, it was me getting on me about it. And that was enough. Like I'm hard on myself. So just having me get on myself was like I created a lot of heaviness for myself
that makes sense.
because of my shame. But
And
I should be ashamed. So
true.
I I'm fine with the fact that I felt shame. I should have felt shame.
Mm-hmm.
So
And did you announce it right away, or did you wait for you to show? Like, how did that go for you?
what did I do? I told some people
Mm-hmm.
and then but I didn't tell a lot of people. I'm normally very private and I've always been that way. And so I've always had a very small circle of people. Um and so I told those people and then like everyone else just didn't matter. To be honest. Everyone who needed to know or who I
Yeah.
wanted to know knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so did you have support, whether from family, friends? How was that for you?
I did have support. I'm thinking back. I had support from the people that I needed support from.
Okay.
But I was also very, and still very self-sufficient. And I'm always looking for solutions. So I always had like plan A, plan B, like if this thing doesn't work out with this, I'll go to this other thing. I'm always very quick to make sure that I have something in place for myself.
Mm,
Um, and I'm still that way with my family. Something's going on, I make sure, like, okay, what's the plan? I don't really take a lot of time to be like, oh, woe is me, like, oh, this bad thing happened. I spend more time on like, the thing happened, what can I do about it?
mm-hmm.
So I just go into preparation mode.
That's a good mindset to have. And so 29, you said you were pretty established at that age.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
had a good job, my
mm-hmm.
own place.
Wow. So
Yeah.
when that reality of you being pregnant, how did that shift for you, like your lifestyle?
Um, honestly, it wasn't a huge shift. Like my life just continued. Like I was still I wasn't someone that was very out there anyway. I mean, I wasn't out there. I was striving, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and had a bump. And
Mm-hmm.
so I wasn't, there was nothing really that I was doing different after I got pregnant. Once she was born, I wasn't really doing anything different. I was still just this introverted person just going about living her
Yeah.
life and now making decisions based on this little person being here with me.
And another question that came to mind was at 29, when you got pregnant, did you feel ready to be a mom?
Yeah. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, I'm
Mm,
not like there was none of that. It was just like,
okay.
oh, I'm pregnant. Okay.
Mm,
I should not have done that, but I did, and now she's coming. So let's prepare. Like I said, like I don't spend a lot of time like
yeah. Woe is
on
me.
yeah, I just
Mm-hmm.
don't. It just doesn't make sense to me because that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't help me.
Definitely.
So I want to all I'm always thinking of like how can I help myself? So let's jump into doing everything that I can do to be as prepared as possible.
That's beautiful, honestly. And
Yeah.
I feel like, let me know if I'm wrong. Is it because you also were established, you had things going for yourself, you had
Yeah.
that, that stress of, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, this is crazy,
Yeah.
didn't really kick in. And also because you said the shame didn't come from them. So it's
No,
like,
no one was shaming me.
exactly. So I feel like
Yeah.
that definitely probably most likely helped you.
Possibly. I think it's more my personality to be
Okay.
honest, because I really go through life with blinders on.
Mm,
I'm not worried about
mm,
people, what people are saying. Like how people feel about me is none of my business.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I don't consider people's words, depending on who it's coming from. It's coming from my husband. Yes, I'm considering his words. It's coming from, the minister. Yes, I'm considering their words. But other people,
Yappers and
yeah,
talkers.
it just doesn't,
That's
they don't,
good.
people don't phase me. So,
So, so going to like your single motherhood season, how long did that last for you? Because yes, I know personally that you got married and stuff. We're gonna touch on
yeah.
that later, but what was it like being a single mom for you?
Um, it was amazing.
Oh, listen, you hitting me with some answers. I was not ready, but that is truly beautiful. Tell us, tell us.
I, first of all, Maya, my daughter,
Mhm.
she was amazing. She was like the perfect little baby. She just wanted to be cuddled, and she was beautiful and just such a good baby. And then being a
Mhm.
toddler, there was no like terrible twos. There was none of that. She was like such a joy. She brought so much and still does. She brought so much joy to my life. It's like I had meaning all of a sudden, like
Yeah.
having to be the person to raise this other little person. It was an honor to be her mom. And it was 9 years to answer your question
Okay.
that I was single, and it was just her and I. And things were great. Like I was established. I lived in this duplex, and it was like a house. It was like a
Mhm.
house, and with a side yard, and like the neighborhood was like everything was great. I had a great singlehood was awesome.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
truly, truly beautiful. I love that. I really love that for you. And you can even like as you're reliving it in your head, like, going
Yeah.
through it, I can see it on you.
Yeah.
I personally I'm not used to hearing that kind of answer.
I know. Normally it's like, oh, I struggled. It was like,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. It was
Wow.
great.
Wow, wow, wow. That's beautiful. And did you have like close family around her? Like,
I I did. So I
mhm,
had family, but because of my personality and
mhm,
being an introvert and being reserved, um, really it just felt like it was just her and I. I mean, it
mm,
was just her and I, but like it was like 5 years before I even like let her go with family by herself. Like
okay.
I was very protective of her. And yeah, so we had people, but I just didn't need
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need a lot. Because I provided by the grace of God everything that we needed. And so I was fine. And I'm just not a people, I don't need a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so just having it be her and I and the one or two people, three people maybe that I had, like that was enough for me.
Okay. I wonder if you're gonna make me stop smiling. I just love it. I love it for you.
Thank you.
So 9 years into that single mom phase,
Yeah.
singlehood, when did you start your business?
Um, 10 years ago.
Okay.
So 2015. So I'm from Portland, Oregon. So all this wonderful time I'm talking about Portland, Oregon. And then I moved
Mm-hmm.
to Philly, and we lived there. Me and Maya lived there for 6 years.
Okay.
So I started my business a year after we arrived in Philly.
Okay.
So 2016, actually.
So you were working, like
Yes.
you were working, you had your business and momhood, your
Yeah.
own your own self to take care of.
Right.
How did you balance all of that as a single mom?
It was a lot. Um, it was a lot. I can remember like being in my apartment in
Mhm.
Philly, and like having a wholesale order of candles to pour. And wholesale orders are pretty big. and because I have my candles in shops in Phillies. And so it was like my tiny like little apartment, it was like a warehouse. It was like a warehouse slash home. The hallway was like continuously filled with like boxes, and
Wow.
it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I made it work.
And so with that being obviously a lot for you to
Yeah.
juggle, somebody might be like, why? Why did you do that to yourself? You know?
Right. Why? Why? Because I love
Mm,
being creative.
mm,
I love pouring candles, and I couldn't see myself not pouring candles. I can't even like I can't even now like I separating myself from my business. It's like,
yeah,
what would I have done? Not pouring candles, it just kind of feels like that's part of my identity.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
not
I was also waiting for you to mention that when I first asked you the question, because
okay.
every time I hear Michelle Bryant, I hear Tobi Quinn, you know? So
Yeah.
so that's why I was
Yeah.
like, it's a part of your identity. I didn't
It
mean to cut you
is.
off, but
No, it's fine.
mhm. So
But
definitely.
I couldn't imagine that pouring. I
Mm,
don't know what I would do with myself if I didn't. And it's so funny because it's like, if you thinking back to being in Philly for those 6 years, if I didn't pour candles, like I would have probably had a cleaner place,
mhm.
um, less stress.
True.
Like it's on paper, it seems like it would have been better, but for what I need, it that wouldn't have been the better choice for me. Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah,
Perfect. And it keeps you, occupied, and
yeah.
you need that, you need
I
something
did
to
need
do
it.
for yourself
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And God willing, it will bless your kids as well
yeah,
and your family.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was like I have this a creativity that is like an itch that you have to scratch, and it's not pouring candles. It's like having a patch of like a rash on your arm. It's like, oh, I gotta,
Yeah.
telling someone not to scratch is like, no, that doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
beautiful. And so now, like, fast forward a little bit, I know that you got married, to your husband, Jovan Bryant, if you don't mind me saying his name.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay. So, I believe that probably was a transition for you as well.
Yeah,
Single mom was great. You was doing what you had to do for you and
yeah,
your daughter Maya.
yeah.
So, tell us, like, how was that? I have some specific questions. I don't, okay.
It's fine. You can ask.
So my first will be like, how was it like going from being a single mom to now you are like the transition, like now you're a stay-at-home mom, you
Yeah,
have this man in your life now.
yes,
You also had your daughter before he came.
right.
Can you tell us, was it hard for you like letting him in your daughter's life? Tell us a little bit about how that went, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. So my anyone that knows my daughter knows that
Mhm.
she is like a social butterfly. And so while we were living in Philly, she knew Jovan before I knew of him, but she had somehow created this friendship because she would always run and like say hi to people. And so she was, after service on Sundays or at convocation, I would always be like, who is that? Who are you talking to now? And so she kind of like had like knew of him before I had a relationship with him, like before I knew of him like that.
Hmm.
And so yeah, he like apparently at one Sunday, or maybe it was a convocation, had like fixed her hair for her and had a picture. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
When did this happen? Like, where was I? So she kind of already had that. And so introducing him to her on that level it was pretty seamless because
Mhm.
she's just such an open, affectionate person, open to new things, open to new ideas. And so the idea of having this other person in our lives, like she immediately was drawn to him anyway.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't. it wasn't hard. I wasn't worried about it. And once I did finally like, you know, explain to her like this is a thing, and she was fine with it.
Wow. It
She
was
was
like it was
happy.
meant to be, Shout out to Maya.
Yeah,
'Cause that's
seriously. She
wow.
got in there and yeah.
It was like she introduced him to you pretty much, she was
Yeah.
already that's
Yep.
beautiful. And now more so on you, like focusing on you, like how was the transition from you being a single mom? I got it,
Yeah.
versus now he's here.
Yeah. It was difficult
Mm,
and and humbling. Even now marriage is humbling.
hmm
Especially for an independent woman.
hmm
There, there are some women that like they get married straight from being in their parents' homes and might be more dependent. So with me, like having had it together before we got married to getting married and learning through the teaching, like what my position is and what my role is, and learning how to best support my husband. Um, that was hard. And still, I'm still like, obviously it's only been five, this year will be 6 years in July, but it's still a learning experience. I have to bridle my tongue, like,
mm,
and I have opinions. And so
yeah.
I, but some, like, you have to learn, like, when to share all the things that
hmm
you are thinking and that you want to say in your opinion, and when you need to be quiet and just listen. The get up and go, that's a part of the being single,
Yeah.
like that's no longer there. So um yes, it was a difficult transition, but I love him. So
Mm,
it was also lovely being able to have this person that I can count on, and not looking at it as like, oh, I don't get to get up and go anymore, but I get to sit down with this person and figure out like what we want to do with our lives together, you
hmm
know. And so it was a huge transition, and it was a big transition for Maya and continues to be, because we went from sleeping in the same bed since she was a
mm,
baby, since she was born, to for 9 years. Even those times,
yeah.
like when she got older in Portland, we slept in the same bed. When we moved to Philly, we slept in the same bed. I got her a bed when we were in Philly. She did not sleep in the bed,
Yeah.
And so then when I got married, that first year,
Wow.
2 years, it was still like, Mom, can you come sleep with me? And it it was hard. And it felt hard to me because she was my person. Even though she was little, I would she was my person. And
Yeah.
you get married and your husband is your person. You know what I mean? But we had this amazing connection and this amazing relationship.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, just trying to preserve that while also building this new thing with Joe, um, it's a lot to juggle.
Wow. I didn't know that, like, in terms of like the separation. I don't know, is it separation the right word? Like between you and Maya, like in terms of even like how different that will be in a sense. I didn't think about
Because
that.
I'm married, like
Yeah,
getting married. Yeah, it's
I didn't
like
think
she
about
went
that.
through separation anxiety. Even though we live
Yeah.
in the same house,
Wow.
it's just a separation now. And there's a hierarchy now.
Yeah.
It's him and me and then her. Like she's lower on the
Exactly.
in the hierarchy now, and I'm sure she felt it, and she should feel it because
Mm-hmm.
she does belong lower on the hierarchy,
Mm-hmm.
because he's my head. He's the head of the house, and he should be up there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
And it makes sense because 9 years of being like that, for her, I believe you said she was 9 years
yeah,
living like that, just me and mommy, and I was like,
yeah,
this big old dude is in it.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's like,
Taking
whoa,
over, yeah,
yeah. So
taking
that
over
makes
everything.
That makes perfect sense. And okay,
Yes.
I don't know, I don't know
It's
about
okay.
this one, but
Okay.
I truly want to know
Okay.
because I see a lot of arguments when it comes to like that situation of like being a single mom,
Yeah.
and now this man is in. I'm trying to word it as good as possible.
I feel like I know your question. You could
How?
just spit it out.
Yeah, so did you I don't even know how to word it. Like
It's like almost there. I could feel it.
it's
Just
like,
let it out.
okay, did you tell your daughter to call him daddy? Like how was that in terms of like that?
No,
How was that for you? Tell us.
she,
I'm
it was really like I stepped out of that. That
okay
actually had nothing to do with me and more to do with
with
him
them.
and Maya. And like, um, it just happened one day. She would
Mm,
call him that she had a name for him and she would call him that name. And, which was fine. And it wasn't daddy. It was something she had called him
mm-hmm.
before. She has so many different names because she's such a weirdo. She would call him like Jabab,
Okay.
Jababatho, Joey, like she would call him all types of like derivatives of his name.
Yeah.
So they did that for however long. And then one day it just changed. And she would just started calling him dad.
Wow.
And I
And
was like, okay, fine.
yeah, I was gonna ask
But
you what was mm-hmm.
there was no rush. And she has to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And she has to feel like I feel like when you didn't come from someone
Mm-hmm.
that she had to feel comfortable,
Yeah.
to get to that place. And she finally did, which means that he must have been doing something right. He must be doing his job because if he wasn't,
Exactly.
then she would have definitely been still calling him Joey or whatever she was calling him before. So, trust takes time, building a relationship takes time, and there was no rush on her calling him dad. But
Wonderful.
when it happened and it's been happening ever since.
Perfect. That's truly beautiful to
Yeah.
hear. Because like I said, I know that that brings a lot of arguments for some,
Yeah.
the forcing and all of that. So it's good that you had that respect for even your daughter Maya,
Yeah.
not to force it. And
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so now I know you got a second boy now. Um,
Yeah.
so
A,
tell
a
us.
second child, one boy, not a
Oh
second boy.
yes, my apologies. Yes, yes. Maya, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No worry. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, you have a second child.
Yeah.
So how was that for you? How did you feel when you found out you were pregnant?
I was so happy
Mm,
because, and I'm gonna try to get through this like without crying.
okay.
Because we had been trying, like we got married and then we started trying to have a baby like almost immediately. And it took a a year, over a year. It was like a year and a half. And I during it was disappointing, like you're trying to have a baby and like every test is negative, so it was very difficult. And so just before I got pregnant, people started having dreams. People in Baltimore started having
Okay.
dreams about TJ. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And people are telling me like you are gonna have a son. And I was like, okay, like I want a son. That's great. I hope you're right. And so we would just be praying about it. There was one time that I was praying and I had asked the Lord to show me my son. And I have to go back a little bit. So when I got married to Joe, my faith was like kind of low, even though I had been in holiness for so
Hmm.
long. My faith was just like really low. So we got married and I started like observing him around the house and just how he was spiritually. And I noticed how he would, when he reads the scriptures, he would just grab the scriptures and he would pray. And he told me that when he prays, he just asked the Lord to speak to him, just to show him something for him.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna start doing that. So I started doing it, and that just in doing that that would increase, it started to increase my faith with other things. So fast forward with TJ, people are having dreams. I'm like, I saw you pregnant, I saw your son, whatever. And so one day I got the scriptures and I was like, Lord, show me my son. Like I want to have a boy, and like I just I want you to show him to me. And I had already picked his name. And so I told the Lord I want a son, and I want him to be obedient. I want an obedient son that like listens to his parents. And I'm like telling the Lord everything I want in my son. And so I was reading I
Take your time.
I got the scriptures one day, and I'm praying that. And so then I was like, show me my son. And I opened the scriptures, and obviously I'm not gonna read it, but it was Tobit 5:1. And I didn't know that Tobias was in the scriptures. I did not know that. I had chosen his name. I had no idea. But when I opened it, it was about Tobias. And it was about how obedient he was. And he's telling his dad how he's going to listen to everything he says. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be pregnant soon, and I'm going to have a boy, and his name is going to be Tobias, and he's going to be such a good boy. Like after I read that, I like believed it.
Mm-hmm.
So then fast forward, it was May, and we were in like South Carolina, I think. Pastor Jennings was there, and I had seen him like in the hallway, and I was able to go in his office and like talk to him, and I told him about this experience, and he said, "Do you want me to pray with you that you have your son?" And I said, "Yes, I want you to pray." And so he didn't pray right then and there, and I was thinking like he's not going to remember, like he's going to forget. So I just leave, and when I get home, and we take a test in this is like June, I think, and we take a test, and I ended up being pregnant. And obviously time goes on, and it's a boy, and all this stuff. But the dreams were right. What I read was right, you know. And he is the way that I prayed.
Yeah, I was
He
gonna ask you, is he actually a good boy?
he is such a good boy. Oh my goodness, he'll do something. He'll be
Oh,
like, "Mommy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doing this. Oh, mommy, I'm sorry. Forgive."
oh my
Like he'll be like, "Do
God.
you forgive me?" Yes, I forgive you. He's so kind, and he's so aware, like emotionally aware, and he's such a good boy. Yeah.
Oh, I love
Anyway.
your little family. It's a beautiful story, and I want to go into more of that pregnancy journey of yours. Can you share how old were you when you were
Yeah,
pregnant with Tobias?
I was 41.
41.
Yeah.
That's a topic within itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it
That's okay.
is.
So, what's it like being pregnant? You have
Yeah.
that gap as well, the age gap.
Yeah.
What, tell us, like, how was that for you on your body, mentally?
Yeah. It was hard. I did not enjoy being pregnant.
Hmm.
It was a lot. And I have it's not lupus. It's borderline lupus. It's called unspecified connective tissue disorder. And so
Okay.
I am in pain 24 hours a day.
You're in pain
Um
right now?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's fine.
what?
So it was difficult. Like lots of because of the extra weight, of having a baby, it was like hard on my
Uh-huh.
body. Um, but I mean, it was fine. It was fine, but it was hard.
Can you tell us what does that do, if you
Yeah,
don't mind?
so it's similar to lupus in that it's an autoimmune disease.
Okay.
And it's inflammation of the body.
Mm,
And so my muscles hurt all the time.
oh,
Um, I yeah, like one of my
okay.
hands is always swollen. If I stand up too long, my knees get swollen. Um, yeah. Um, it's hard to like open things. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's just pain. It's
Yeah.
pain. But
Oh,
yeah,
sorry to hear that. So,
it's pain.
like you said, the pregnancy was really hard because of that, or
Um, it was hard because pregnancy's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard because my body was like always hurting. And just,
Mm-hmm.
as it got towards the end, it's just you're,
It's
big
just
and
done.
fat and you just want
Yeah.
to have a baby, So
Yeah.
it just, yeah, it just,
And
yeah.
I know the answer, but can you tell us the labor, the giving birth? How did you
Yeah.
how did that go for you?
So I had a C-section.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was interesting. Um, yeah, I had a C-section. And that whole
That was a funny answer.
like it's like, do I give the detail? It's like I go into the operating room, to get
Epidural.
the numbing, yeah, in my bag, and they have a fellow doing it, and I don't know
Mm,
if you're doing a fellow, like
yeah.
they're training. It was at Johns Hopkins, and Johns Hopkins is a training hospital, and so like the person doing it had to do it a few times,
Mm,
which was painful. Um, and just the whole numbing. I had this weird thing with my toes, and I ended up like freaking out about my toes and like asking the people that were in there, like, can you just put something in between my toes? They put like cotton balls in between my toes because I had this weird sensation. I mean, I was talking to myself the whole time. Like
oh wow.
they were cutting me open. Like it was just Joe was there. Like, he was right there, but I just went into like self-soothing
Mm,
mode because I'm always, when I need help, I go within. And so I was just laying there and I was just like, you're gonna be fine. It's fine. I was just like self-soothing through the whole thing.
mhm.
It was just really uncomfortable. Um, yeah. So that was the
And
experience.
recovery, how was that for you, if you don't mind getting into that?
Oh, it was just so hard. It was just so hard. Like we have stairs
Oh,
and like obviously like I wasn't walking up and down the stairs. Thank God my mom was here
okay.
and she was like made me all my meals and that was fine. But
Wow.
it was just difficult being someone that's like that I do everything that needs to be done, I do it myself. And so just laying there was difficult and just the pain, it just hurt so much.
Oh,
And it was just a lot. It was a lot.
it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. But thank God you made it out of it, and
Yes.
stuff like that. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now you're saying you're a stay-at-home mom. If you
Yeah.
don't mind, I just like to travel through like your motherhood journey.
Yeah. It's fine. Wherever you go, I go. No
Perfect.
worries.
So
No
you're a
worries.
stay-at-home mom now.
Yeah.
And what's that like for you? Um, and I don't like to use the word, what do you feel like was harder, being a single mom working or a
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom and doing your thing?
Um okay. My life is more peaceful now. Like when I look back on single motherhood versus now, my life is more peaceful. Like for example, I at one point in Philly, I didn't have my car. And so, I was walking everywhere, taking public transportation everywhere, getting groceries. Like we had to walk to the grocery store and carrying all the bags, like in the snow. Like it was a lot. And I had this injury on my side from like carrying, like constantly every day for 6 years, carrying all the things. And I had this injury that would not go away. When I got married, it went away. Why?
Oh,
Because I wasn't doing all the things.
yeah.
And so my body was able to heal. And I literally to this day I don't have any problem with it anymore. So it's more it's more peaceful than it was, but it also it presents like new challenges. Being a stay-at-home mom has presented new challenges than from when I was single. So, yes, I'm at home now.
Hmm.
I don't have to get up at the crack of dawn to get dressed and, go drop off the boy. We call him the boy. Go drop the boy off, go to work, come home, do all the things. So, but it's a different I have a different kind of labor. I have an emotional labor that I have to take on now, making sure that each person in my family is taken care of. Keeping up with all the things that need to be kept up with, keeping my home clean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, taking care of my business, trying to like do my business and prioritizing myself. Like those are jobs as well. And it's 24/7. Like it's invisible labor is what it is. And it's an invisible labor that I didn't have before that I have now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't see you can't visually see, um, worrying about your family. You
Exactly.
can't visually see like having to keep up with everyone's last meal. When do people last eat? Okay.
Mm,
When is my husband gonna be hungry? Okay, is my daughter hungry? Is my son hungry? Okay, and then like, what's for dinner? What's for lunch? And like trying to stay ahead of everybody's feelings.
yep.
And then when they come home, like right now is a space and time where the boy is at school, and that's like great. This is my quiet time. But then when my family comes home, it's like I call it the second shift.
Mm,
And I am on again. Like I take the temperature of when my husband and my daughter come in the door. I take their temperature. How are they? Did they have
okay.
a conversation in the car that was kind of like, how do they look? So I look at them and I take their temperature so that I know how to govern myself when they come in. Like I do all of that. And that's weight, you know?
Yeah.
And so now I have to juggle them as they come in. Okay, what does he need? What does she need? Okay, the boy. So it's just a lot of invisible emotional labor. So even though I might not be doing things physically, it's
Mm-hmm.
having to keep up with everyone can feel overwhelming a lot of the
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I love how you describe the taking the temperature. I didn't catch on at first, but then I was
okay.
like, that's a beautiful way that you put it, you know? And so do you like follow a schedule or like what do you do for yourself?
So I didn't used to follow a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I am very my husband and I were just talking about this and he did something that's like so wonderful that I'm gonna share with you. But um I can be very like not scatterbrained, but it's just like there's a lot to do. So sometimes pulling from all the things up here in the cloud that needs to be done, like pulling like, okay, which thing should I do?
Yeah.
That gets overwhelming for me. So then I end up like doing a bunch of little things and but then I look around and it's like, why does it look like I did not do anything? So I was telling him like I'll start in the living room and like I'm cleaning up the living room, but then like something from the living room needs to go in the bedroom. But in order to put it in the bedroom, I have to pass the kitchen. So then
Oh
I see
my
like this
God.
thing is out of order in the kitchen. Like, let me just do this really quick. And then I remember I have to go upstairs to the bedroom to take this thing. So then I get up there. But then the room is a mess. Like I need to clean this room. So I'm like, let me just do like this quick. Let me just hang up these clothes.
Oh my gosh.
And then it's time to get the boy from school. And then they come home. Then it's
Mm-hmm.
time to make dinner. So it's just like I was feeling very overwhelmed for a very long time. And I would always
Mm-hmm.
complain. I would tell my husband, I feel like he'd be like, how was your day? I was going from task to task to task all day. Like, I want to not do that. So
Mm-hmm.
he was like, okay, why don't why don't we make a schedule? So he literally, and this is his thing, he literally sat down and made a schedule for me, like for Monday through Sunday. And I pull up my schedule because that's how I work. I am better. I'm very methodical. I
Mm-hmm.
work. I do very well with like step one, step two, step three, step four. So he made this for me. I pull up my schedule every day, and I look and I see what it is that's on the schedule that I'm supposed to be doing, and I do
Wow.
it, and I'm done.
Thank God for
And
him.
I don't do all the things every day.
Mm-hmm.
I do clean the kitchen. I'll clean the kitchen, but that means like it's not if the living room is not on the schedule, I don't like not do the living room. Like
Mm-hmm.
if it's a quick, thing, then I'll do it. But some days it's all about the kitchen. Some days it's all about the living room. Some days it's all about the cleaning the bedroom, but it's different things on different days. And the beauty of it is that my husband did it for me. So he knows what's on the schedule. So
Yeah.
if cleaning the living room, if cleaning the kitchen, for example, is that's not my day, but it needs to be done, he does it.
Wow.
And that just like I was telling him a couple days ago, I was just loving all up on him, and I was just like, thank you so much for this, because I noticed one day that like it wasn't a kitchen day and he was cleaning the kitchen, and I was like, oh yeah, like today was a living room day, so he took care of it just like he said he would. And he was like, whatever day, like if you don't do it, then like I'll take care of it.
Wow.
And I was like, thank you for helping me. But
Yeah, and
that's the thing, communication.
exactly. And also what came to my mind as you were just saying that is the weight that you were carrying got lifted as soon as,
I'm
thankfully he
telling
came
you.
into your life. So,
And that's the invisible labor that I'm talking about.
mm-hmm.
Like it's all the things
Exactly.
that need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the kitchen and it's not just the cooking and the cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
it's the kids' needs. Sometimes I'll tell him, like, I don't have anything left to give right now. I cannot serve another person. Like, I'm tired. I
Mm-hmm.
need you to be like the primary parent. It's like, fine, no problem. So it's like communication is the key. You have to tell your person what you need.
Yeah.
If you don't tell them, then they're not going to know, especially if they're not emotionally aware or as emotionally aware as you are, which I think that in general men aren't as emotionally aware
Yeah.
as women, which that's what makes us good wives and good mothers, is we are aware of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you have to enlighten your
Yeah.
person and be like, hey, did you know that I am always thinking about these different things? And like, if you could also be aware of them, that would be really great. Then we could be a team, and we can help each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you might think that like, oh, I shouldn't have to teach my husband how to
Yeah.
be aware. I was feeling like that for a long time, but it's like, no, we're just all made to be different. I am made to be different than he is, and
Exactly.
that's okay. That has to be okay. But he needs to know that all these things are on my shoulders and I need help. Like, I
Yeah.
need you to take this thing off of me. And he did that with the schedule. And so
Wow.
then when he came home, I was just like, I feel so good right now. Like, I am not stressed. I was
Mm-hmm.
just relaxing on the couch, watching a show when they came in the door. And I just felt so good. But it
Yeah.
gave me energy because he has made that for me. It made me want to, as he came in the door, it made me want to now get up and serve him,
Mm.
because I was so peaceful because of this gift that he gave me of
Yeah.
arranging my life for me, because I just couldn't do it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's beautiful to have that partner, that team, to go through that stage of your life
right.
with you. Thank
Yeah,
God for him as again, and question that came to my mind is
yeah.
what does motherhood mean to you?
Um, oh, motherhood. Motherhood is nurturing. Motherhood is like instilling everything that your children like are lacking or that don't have because they're little and they're not born with all
Mm-hmm.
that wisdom. Motherhood is, it's like adding fat to their bones. It's my job to make them fat with wisdom and make them fat with knowledge. It's my job to um, just add to them, to nurture them, and to give them everything that they would need to be caring, functional adults, in
Mm-hmm.
society, and everything that they need to um, have the kind of heart that they should have, that's pleasing to the Lord. It's teaching them how to be stable, and I am a pillar. I am their pillar. It's my job to be that for them, to be that place that they can run to, that's solid, that can cover them. It's my job to heal them,
Mm-hmm.
to know what they need to be healed, whether it's like
Mm-hmm.
natural things. I mean, you get, your cuts and your bruises, or
Exactly.
if they have if their feelings have cuts and
Mm-hmm.
bruises, it's my job to heal their emotional wounds with the help of the Lord. And
Mm-hmm.
gosh, it's just, I, yeah, that's what it is. It's so funny because recently um, I think recently I've had a turn in this season that I'm in. I've had a turn of, um, I was feeling really overwhelmed for a very long time. And only just recently, I feel like I'm turning a corner in that and feeling more like, okay, I got this. Um, but I was thinking recently that I started praying and asking the Lord to help me to view motherhood and marriage the way that He views it. Like the
Mm-hmm.
way that the Lord intended for motherhood to be, the way He intended for a wife to be with her husband. I'm asking the Lord to help me to look at those roles in the same way that He created them.
Yeah.
That way I want to move away from complaining. I want to move away from the way that social media um, portrays
Yeah.
motherhood, because if you could get caught up in that. I was caught up in it for a very little while, and all the things that like we have to do as moms, we can start to look at that. When you get caught up in social media, you can start to look at that as negative.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to look at motherhood the way He wanted me to,
Yeah.
not in the way that other women do, or on social media, and that
Mm-hmm.
I'm lacking something
Yeah.
now, you know. So yeah, I'm just moving from the past season into like a new season, and it feels good. It feels lighter because I don't have the world helping me to
Mm-hmm.
define my role. And
Yeah.
why would I be, I think I was listening to it. I was listening to it because I was identifying with like all the terrible things.
Yeah.
And I was really leaning into all of the things that are hard, that are
Mm-hmm.
so hard. And so I had to remember what kind of person I am. I'm not the person that leans into woe is me. I am a solution based person. So my solution was to go to my husband, who is
Mm-hmm.
my partner in life, who like literally who else am I going to go
Yeah.
to be other than the Lord,
God is
obviously.
he literally your head though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I go to him and I need you to give me a solution. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to lead me and guide me. I know that you're not a mother, but I need you to lead me and guide me in my role as motherhood. I need you to give me some wisdom because right now I'm looking at it and feeling pretty resentful, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Beautifully said. And there's so much that you said that I could relate to. And also it came to my mind when you mentioned like how you're trying to, go through this journey of motherhood and pretty much not complain. What came
Yeah.
to my mind was one of the posts. I probably will include it in here, but one of the posts that you made, it really touched me because it's like you were like, I think something along the lines that you were complaining about the dishes, this and that,
Oh
but
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
shifted your way of thinking and be like, oh, at
I
least I
get to do it.
have exactly, at least I
Yeah.
have dishes to do because they're eating or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that definitely kind of helped me as well, but I do sometimes fall into the complaining. Social
Yeah.
media,
Like
like,
it's terrible.
yeah,
I mean, it can be great, but when you're misery loves company, and
hmm
when you're feeling a certain way, you can always find a group of people that are also feeling that way and
exactly.
will perpetuate that feeling and make it this big
hmm
cloud. And like I was just like consumed. I was following so many of these like mom accounts,
Yeah,
and I
it's
was
too
just
much.
feeling like ew.
Yeah,
And one day I just unfollowed all of them. I was
yeah,
like, I cannot do that. And that's when I started asking God, like, please help me to look at motherhood and marriage the way you do. because
Exactly.
I can't continue looking at it from this other point of view, which is so negative and making me feel so
Mm-hmm.
terrible
It's
about
too
being a
much.
mother and being a wife, you
And
know?
I also seen somewhere because even for me, I got checked by my husband. He's like, I think you're taking too much of these other people, on like on social media,
Yeah,
um, like their input. And some of
yeah,
them they're literally in the world,
yeah,
And he had to check me on that. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're
yeah,
right. And this is kind of why I also am doing Talk About It Mama is to showcase the reality.
yeah.
Like, and also I seen a post where mom, this was a good post, okay?
Okay.
She said like we were not really like meant to see in so many people's lives. You know,
Right.
like, oh, she's
Yeah,
doing this over there. She's doing this over there with her kids.
yeah.
It's like it's too much.
It is
It's
too
too much.
much.
So I relate to what you were saying and I'm really glad that we also spoke about it because
Yeah,
a lot of it is not the reality, our reality, and the
right.
comparison is just it's unnecessary, you
No,
know.
yeah,
So,
exactly. I agree.
okay. And let me see. So what advice would you have for a single mother? What advice would you have for her? You see her trying to, keep it together for her and her child.
Hmm.
What would you say to her?
I would say um several things.
Mm-hmm.
Number one that just came to my mind is don't overcommit like to anything. You have to know yourself and you have to know what you can handle and don't overcommit. Like prioritize the things that actually matter. Um, I think all of us, when you're single, I think single mom, I mean, we're all doing the best that we can, but like, I would say that like, you're doing the best you can. And I think anyone that is wondering like how, like anyone that's saying like I'm failing or I need to do better, you want you that's a good mother.
Mm-hmm.
You're you don't want to fail. You're, worried about being a good mom. That in and of itself means that you are a good mom because you're probably doing a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like don't be so hard on yourself and do the best you can and understand kids. I think that sometimes the things that we think that kids want and need, they don't actually need. Like kids need time with their parents. They don't need, toys,
Yeah,
just a bunch of
too much. Yeah.
extra things that don't matter. Trips to here and there. Like just unplug. I always tell my daughter, like, you're too plugged in. Like imagine having like a cable, like a you got a bunch of outlets, bunch of
Mm-hmm.
wires, and you're just plugged into this, plugged into that, plugged into that. Like you need to unplug
Mm-hmm.
from everybody, unplug from all the things, and just for a single mom, plug up to your child and just
Mm-hmm.
whatever you and your babies need, that is what you do, and everything else does not matter. Don't you can't take on too much trying to do everything perfectly. You can't give 100% to all the things. So this thing gets, you know, maybe 100% of your attention for 15 minutes, then you unplug and then you move on to the next thing and then you unplug. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in being a super mom. Anyone that is speaks positively about being a super mom, I'm like, you should not have to do all the things by yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's
That's
true.
not being a super mom to me is a negative thing.
Yeah.
I do not endeavor to take on the world by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm married? No. And I have a whole other adult person living in the house? No, no,
Yeah.
no. Like I didn't get married to be single.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you are single, you do what you can and you have grace with yourself in understanding that you're not going to be able to do all the things and that's okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. You're only one person.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Um, and what, let me see. How do you want your kids to remember you as their mom?
I want them to remember me as someone who had something to say and who said it, who's not afraid to speak up and not afraid to take up space. I always tell them, sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that." And I'll be like, "No, you don't need to be sorry. You are allowed to take up space. If you bump into me, you say excuse me, but you don't need to say sorry to me. It's okay for you to be here too." Like
Mm,
giving them a voice is my biggest, I would say that is my one of my top um goals as being a mother is giving help, not giving my children a voice, helping them find their own voice
wow, yeah.
and reinforcing the fact that they have a voice and helping them to shape their voice into something that is respectful, um yet forceful, when it needs to be forceful, it helping them just to figure out communication and when to speak up and when to be quiet. And it's just yeah, that's my goal. Communication, emotionally stable and aware children is
Mm-hmm.
what I want for them. Or emotionally stable and aware adults
Yeah,
is what I want. That
beautiful,
would be one of
beautiful.
my biggest things.
And what can you say to your husband, a man who stepped in your life,
Yeah.
stepped in your daughter's life, you know, yeah, what can you say to
I can say you're amazing. Thank
him?
you. um he he is, we didn't really go, you and I didn't really go into this, but just how he came in the role of father on the disciplinarian side, what that was hard for me because I am used to being the disciplinarian. So having
Mm,
to share that role with a person that has not been around all this time was a it was hard. It was a transition, a hard
mhm,
transition for me and for Maya. And I had to learn
mm,
how to be quiet and let him figure out how to be a disciplinarian to Maya. And that was really hard. He was so patient. He was so patient. And in general, he's a very calm person and a very patient person. And I am so grateful. He's like stability for me and Maya. We are very, very much, her and I are very much the same person, kind of scattered and all over the place. And we need someone to like bring it all together and make it make sense.
mhm.
And that is what Joe does for me, and is what he's learning to do for Maya, and just kind of give us order inside of our amongst our chaos.
Yeah,
He like brings order and stability. So he's an amazing father. Yeah.
that's beautiful that you were able to get that blessing of having the right man in your
Yeah.
life. And a
Yeah.
question that did come up, it might be my last
Yeah.
one, okay?
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you were in that season of single mom with Maya,
Yeah.
were you wanting to have a husband? Like I know some they're like, for example, when you were carrying those heavy bags in the winter with your daughter, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish I had a man. Like,
No.
no? Okay,
No. I did not want to get married.
okay.
So let's see. Deep down in my heart,
Uh-huh.
I wanted to get married. I eventually, like, I wanted to get married. But
Okay.
as I got older, like, I wasn't really thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy, I was established and happy to be single.
Mm-hmm.
I love myself and I love my solitude. And would always I would always tell my son, I think I saw it as like a poem or like a meme or something many, many years ago. Like if I'm gonna settle down, my person, he has to be sweeter than my solitude.
Mm.
And so at that point at 39, I'm just like, I'm almost 40 and I'm not married yet. And I'm fine with that. I like being by myself. I like spending time by myself. And I can't even imagine actually at this age getting married. So I wasn't looking, and I mean, I'm not supposed to look, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
open. My heart was not open. I was not interested. And so when we started talking, I was, let's see, how do I tell this story without like telling all my business?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But I was very, um, I was very, I made it aware that I was not looking to just like do this for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am getting old and I like I'm not I'm not open to something that's gonna end, something
Exactly.
that's gonna go nowhere.
Yep.
So he understood my intentions in the beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm very forward, like not very forward. I'm very direct and I'm very forthcoming is what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem asking the exact questions that I want to ask for the
Mm-hmm.
answer that I need. And so I would just like, what is your intention? I just asked him,
Mm-hmm.
like, what's your intention? Why are you here? Because I don't want my time wasted. And he was very honest. And it turned out like we had the same, what I wanted, he wanted. And so we went into it like this, we have a goal for this thing. And
Yeah.
that end goal was marriage. And it worked out.
Wonderful.
So yeah.
Yay. That's such a beautiful journey of yours.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you actually came on and shared it with us,
Yeah.
you
Thanks
know?
for having me. Excuse
No
me.
worries, no worries. Like I seen you. I think I don't know if I told you this. Like when I used to see you years ago,
Yeah.
like passing in church back and forth,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm like, how is she? Like, who is she? You know, like why? I would be like, is she's not really friendly. Like, just seeing you, I
That's
was like,
everyone's first.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then our first exchange, I'm like, she's the total opposite. I'm like, what? Like, what?
I
So,
know. I think people do look at me like either I'm stuck up or like I'm not approachable,
mm-hmm.
I'm this, I'm that. And it's just that I don't, if I don't have anything, if we don't have business
Yeah.
and I don't have a specific thing that I need to talk to you about, then I
You
don't
just go about.
go up to people. Like
Yeah,
I am into meaningful conversation. Like I
exactly.
literally, if I see you, I want to like dive like right
Mm-hmm.
into like how are you? Like no, how are you really?
Yeah.
Like I want to, I crave realness. I
Mm-hmm.
crave um authenticity
Yep.
and vulnerability. And in my experience, people don't, I lead with that because that's
Mm-hmm.
who I am.
Yeah,
But most people don't lead with that. And
exactly.
so and I don't do like small talk and just like, and
Yeah.
so, but a lot of people are fine with small talk and
Nah.
I just am not. So I've
Yeah.
found that if I don't have anything meaningful to say, and you don't have anything meaningful to talk to me about other than
Exactly.
greetings, then we're never going to get to that other level that I would be happy to go to. Like I've had really wonderful conversations with
Yeah.
like the especially with the generation that's just under me. I love talking to that generation. But most people will never get this layer of me that I'm giving, which is the real
Yeah.
me. You'll never get it. Well, every layer that I show is the real me. But
Mm-hmm.
most people will never get to that part because they're not willing to go past my face and they just
Exactly.
think that I'm mad. They think that they think they add too much of their own narrative
Yeah.
and you don't you'll never get to see like what's underneath.
Exactly.
And it's other people's, not that I'm so great, but it's like I'm fine with that. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to take the time to peel off just that top layer, then
Exactly.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not pressed.
That's
I'm not
beautiful.
pressed.
And like it brought me back to I wish we would have taken that picture of when we were at headquarters
Mhm.
in that room. I don't know if you remember. I think it was end of the year. You were like
Yeah.
on the floor, Tobias, my
Yeah.
son, some more
Yeah.
moms. And
Yeah.
somebody did say like, "Oh, you guys should take a picture." We were just too busy trying to
Yeah.
hear the word, try to keep this toddler from, you know.
Yes.
So, what was that like for you? Like, you know, dealing with toddlerhood in church.
It was so hard. And I still actually refer back to that picture
Mm-hmm.
of us in my mind often.
Yeah.
And the one of the things I feel is like wow, there are other
Mm-hmm.
moms. I didn't have to ask anyone, any of the moms, any questions. We were all like, I knew we all wanted to be back on our seats, listening to the word in person, not on the phone.
Yep.
You know, we're tired, we're this, we're that. Some of us were still nursing. I nursed Tobias all the way up until he was 3, and
Mm-hmm.
he's 3. Like,
Wow. Are you
yeah,
done or you're still
I'm
going?
done.
Wow.
He turned 3, and I want to say like the week that
Oh
he turned
wow.
3 or somewhere around there, like that was it. Like no more booby. He would
I
ask for
remember we were
it.
talking about it too. You're like, how do
It
we get
was a
off?
bit. I did not. I'm glad he got all the nutrients and all the everything.
Mhm.
Yay, yay. That's great. But
Yeah.
it was not awesome for me. But
Mhm.
um being up there and him being so small, it's it was hard. I was just like,
Yeah.
man, I gotta constantly, it has to be me. I'm constantly getting up out of my
Mhm.
seat to go here and go there. But it wasn't, my husband was doing the same thing. But like,
Mhm.
you know, when I had to nurse him and just it was really hard being away from the
Mhm.
word. And I don't have the Holy Ghost yet. And it's like, I want to be locked in to the message. I don't want to
Mhm.
be here in the bathroom, like on the
Yeah.
floor. I had some resentment,
Mhm.
like, ugh, why I don't want this. But I'm glad that we are past that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that my husband is such an involved parent.
Mhm.
And, now he takes him out. Like, he's like, I got the boy. I'm like, cool.
Mhm.
So I can be here and be locked into the message and, get what I need. But it was
Yeah.
so hard. It was so hard.
It was. Some moms they're crying like when they
Uh-huh.
have to leave because it is tough, honestly, but it is a season that would most likely pass, you know.
Oh, it
And
definitely passes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I wish we would have taken that picture.
I
Like,
know.
I wish.
I know. That would have been so nice.
But that's all I have. I am
Okay.
so happy we had this conversation. It
Me
was
too.
a real conversation, you know,
Yeah.
intentional conversation. So once again, thank you for coming on. I really,
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
You're
And this
welcome. Thanks
concludes
for
this
having me.
episode. All
Okay.
right.
Take care.